want it.
Yeah.
They want it. It's like when I talked with Gilly, it was a perfect storm. He had a great club. He had very experienced pitching, and they performed at an extremely high level, and they just gained confidence every day. And, it was probably as exciting a run as I've witnessed, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy and a better program because, the last 10 years, they've been knocking on that door to go to Omaha and come up a run short here or a play short there, and it all come together. And the biggest thing, Phil, and you've been around it a long time, as long as me, parity in college baseball any team can beat any team on any given day, and everybody's good. Everybody's good, and so it's just college baseball right now. It's very exciting. Very exciting, and you got 3 teams with Clemson and Carolina and Coastal running pretty deep. So hopefully the Citadel will be in that deep run like next year, like we usually are.
And baseball in our state the college baseball in our state is just terrific now, and you see a new coach at Furman. Ronnie Smith had a great run there, but they've gone with a good young guy who's going to be energetic and recruit hard. They'll be strong.
They got the pitcher of the year coming back, and they've got
the freshman of the year.
That's exactly right. They've got a very good team returning.
Yeah, I mean the Cougars across the street. They're going to be tough once again. So it's going to be a big season in college baseball. And anything new with you guys? I mean, as far as you still play at
everything's the
same park and over.
Yep. We'll just
at Riley.
At Riley Park.
Yeah.
Yep. And
that's a great. Isn't that a great bonus for your program to have that park?
Yeah. When our board of visitors negotiated a contract back in the late '90s, and we opened it up in '97. First full season was '98. It really helped us because a lot of guys come in that ballpark and from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah.
But now you look around the state, and everybody's got a beautiful ballpark. I mean, Coastal's ballpark to me is just fabulous.
Yeah.
And then obviously Carolina and Clemson, Winthrop, Furman.
Have you seen the new minor league park in Columbia?
No, I have not. I saw it on TV. I saw the Big South championship game, and I saw it then.
Yeah. No, that's not it. That's that's in Lexington.
Oh,
I'm talking about the Fireflies. The minor league park.
No, I have not.
It's pretty awesome too.
Yeah,
you need to check it out.
Yeah,
as ballparks go. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for being here. You do a great job.
Well, thank you. Look forward to talking to you next season. Hope it goes extremely well.
Thank you so much.
Good seeing you. Okay, Fred Jordan, coach of the Citadel baseball team, visiting with us as he has to go out now and talk to some of the fans who are here tonight at the Brigadier Club Cookout and Golf Tournament. The scores will be coming in here shortly. I think, I don't know, guys. My team was pretty good, thanks to me. And there's a chance we could finish in the money here. I could be called onto the stage to receive a trophy or something.
A participation trophy?
We don't do that in golf. You have to win it, and you have to earn it. Citadel baseball last year 17-42 overall.
Ooh.
Only 6-18 in conference play. 236 team batting average and a team ERA of 6.59. So they do have some improving to do, but you know what? Freddie's been here a long time. I think he's going on 20 years as the head guy who's built a program and built a very good program, a chance to fix it and let him identify the problems whether it's coaching or personnel and go about fixing it. And that's what the Citadel's going to do. And they're going to let him fix it and see if he can return them to where they normally are in the Southern Conference, which is one of the league leaders on a pretty regular basis. So there you go. Fred Jordan, baseball coach here at the Citadel. We'll come back in a break here in just a moment on Sports Talk. Mike Morgan coming up on the other side as we bring Mike back into his regular Thursday slot following his extended vacation travels. So he'll be with us coming up, and we'll have more on USC Clemson and update some other items for you, too, coming up next here on Sports Talk. Okay, we're back. Sports Talk South. Oh, we are back at Sports Talk South Carolina Radio Network here on a Thursday evening in Charleston. Phil Kornblut here at Patriots Point. Looking out, I see beautiful Charleston Harbor. You know, as we were playing golf today, I started with my group on number 16, which is one of the holes that comes up along the harbor and then makes kind of a turn. 17 is the par 3 that juts out into the harbor. Then 18 comes home. It's all along the harbor. So you can see the ships and the boaters out there, and some fool in a speedboat, well, not a speedboat, just a regular boat, not one of those big ones. We didn't realize it was low tide, and he got stuck. And we watched him try to get the boat off the sandbar, trying to go forwards and backwards, revving the motor, whatever the case may be, trying to get away. And so, we move on. We come back around 3-4 hours later. His boat is still there. It's still stuck in the mud in Charleston Harbor. He's gone. Either he swam away or somebody picked him up.
Or the tide came in.
Still there.
Yeah,
so
maybe the tide came in and saved him.
Well, yeah, the boat's still there. He was waiting on the tide to come in, but it was going to be several hours because he got stuck as the tide was going out. So, point is, as my partner said, just because you have a boat doesn't mean you know how to operate one, which in this case turned out to be true. All right, let's welcome into the program Mike Morgan on the move here on Sports Talk. Mikey back from another vacation, getting ready to begin his football season with ESPN, calling games around the Southeast and all over the country. How are you, sir? Good to have you back with us.
Good to be back on the mainland. Enjoyed a week and a half in Spain, and that's quite a bit. It was on a couple of boats. None of them got stuck. No sandbars, so everything worked out very well. And hard to believe we're just a couple of weeks away from the start of football, so cranked up like everybody else.
Yeah, that brings to mind the question, does the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plane?
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Wow. Really? We got to get you another vacation if that's the best one you could come up with. You've been working too hard there at the network.
Oh, geez.
You know, it just jumped
one?
in my head when you said Spain. It just jumped into my head. Let me mention Mike is brought to you by Play It Again Sports in Columbia. Chris Mosley and the gang have everything you need in the way of golf equipment, fitness equipment, water sports, and more. They're at Bower Parkway in Harbison. And by Founders Federal Credit Union. Check out foundersfcu.com and learn how they can assist you in all of your financial needs. Have you got your lineup yet for your upcoming broadcasts?
I've got a few of them that I know early on. I know that weeks 2 and 3, week 2 I'll be in Vanderbilt. I think they've got Middle Tennessee State. In week 3 I'll have on a national radio broadcast Mississippi State at LSU, and from then you just kind of wait for your assignments week by week. But looking forward to getting out to a couple of those venues, particularly Death Valley. I know there's a lot of people that feel like this might be the year where LSU actually surpasses Alabama. It seems like there's always a chance of that with all the talent that Les Miles has, but I think a lot of people thought Les Miles underachieved last year, and you go back to that story, that whole saga, how bizarre it was that there was basically a plan, obviously in motion, to fire him. Fire a guy who wins a ton of ball games every year and plays for SEC championships every year, and has, by the way, won a national title. It's almost as if they were going to fire him in the middle of the night, and next thing you know, the players are carrying off on their shoulders. So I'll be very curious what the mood is, what the tone is around LSU football in Baton Rouge this year.
Yeah, I think it should be one of high expectations for the very reason that they have a great running back if this ankle injury to him is not too severe. But they do have a good backup as well. But, of course, a different club when he's healthy. I think Harris had a very good year last year and should even be even better this year. Plus the other complementary weapons they have on offense and a very good defense returning too. So
and a new coordinator.
They're my pick to win the West.
Yeah,
they're my pick to win the West. And
well, I think you and I were both there at Hoover, and I guess Alabama once again won the preseason pick. But I don't think you could go wrong if you did pick LSU. Remember, the game is in Baton Rouge this year, and so you've got that. If they get improved play from Harris, and if Aranda makes the impact on defense that a lot of people think he will after having a great run at Wisconsin, he's got better athletes in Baton Rouge than he does in Madison, then LSU could certainly be very formidable. I think there'll be a lot of fun to watch this year. I really do. I think that game, of course, always in the first weekend of November when LSU plays Alabama, that is our modern day Florida Tennessee. Remember when it was always Spurrier, Florida Tennessee, whoever wins that wins the Southeastern Conference. Now it's Alabama LSU seemingly, and every now and then something throws you a curveball like an Auburn with Cam Newton. Or the first year of Gus, but for the most part, it's been a league that's been dominated consistently by those two programs.
Yeah. I'm talking with Mike Morgan on the move here on Sports Talk. As far as the scene here in South Carolina, Mike, from what you've been hearing from your contacts around the SEC and the ACC, certainly appears that USC and Clemson have had good camps, though Clemson having a little bit of concern now with Austin Bryant out at defensive end for a few weeks. Now Xavier Kelly is involved in some sort of accident last night on a moped that we don't know how severe it is. I guess we'll find out when the coaches talk after practice today. But what do you think about Clemson and Auburn coming up in a couple of weeks there in at Auburn? And do you think Auburn enough offensively and defensively to upset Clemson?
In short, no. I mean, they've had their own issues, losing running backs left and right. They still don't know exactly what their quarterback is going to look like, who it's going to be, how effective he's going to be. It was a nightmare last year, of course, a very disappointing position for them on the field. We all know if a Gus Malzahn offense, if it's going to be good, they have to be able to run football and run it well. It's not an offense that's just going to throw it 40 to 50 times and not, hand it off a whole lot and be successful. They have to get that back on track. But it's like anything else. If a defense, and particularly in a league like the SEC, if a defense knows that you're not a threat to throw the football well, they can stack the box and they can at least neutralize a good running game, if not stop it. So that's going to be an issue again for Auburn this year. And as you know, there's a ton of heat on Gus. I mean, I really believe if they don't win at least 8 games, there's going to be a change on the Plains. I don't care what the contract extension looks like or says. That'd be, but right now with the unrest that's going on there, and in terms of Clemson, they're going to score points on everybody. I mean, there's no doubt with that weaponry and Deshaun Watson, they're going to score a bunch of points, over 30 a game in all likelihood. But they did lose a lot on that defense. That would concern me, obviously, a little bit. I know the recruiting has not let up, so it's one of those where they still have plenty of athletes. But that'd be the one thing out there, and that, of course, along with the fact that they've got to play in Tallahassee,
where they have had a very tough time winning. They have won before there, but not very often. And also they go to Georgia Tech, where we all know they've had a real hard time winning as well. So we'll see if the Tigers can dodge the landmines that will be awaiting them as they go through their particular schedule. Mike, thanks as always. Have a great rest of the week and weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
take care.
All right, Mike Morgan with us here on Sports Talk. Morgan on the move with us on Thursday nights. Of course, Mike's going to get real busy as he gets into his play-by-play schedule for ESPN, doing both television and games on radio, too. So we'll be keeping up with him moving through the season. All right, we'll hit a break. A little recruiting coming up and more here on Sports Talk. Be right back. we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Phil Kornblut down in Charleston at Patriots Points. Nice little golf links they have here at Patriots Points, especially the last few holes that come up along the harbor. Very, very pretty. Big crowd of Citadel fans are here. Enjoy. What they got? Little shrimp and I don't know what else they got. Be talking with some coaches and things of that nature. I think Athletic Director Jim Center is here as well. He's going to talk to the crowd. The new head football coach here at the Citadel, I got a chance to see him on the golf course for a couple of minutes. He was riding around visiting with everybody, and he knows that of course, he was part of the success that Mike Houston had working with the offense, and now it's his baby, and he feels like he can keep it going. We'll be visiting with him next week when we make our visit to the Citadel as part of the Palmetto Pigskin Tour coming up next week. Got a lot of stops coming up, and one of those will be to the Citadel, and we'll visit with Brent Thompson at that time. To the phones we go, and then recruiting. Charles here in Charleston. Welcome into Sports Talk. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing? Hello?
We are doing fine.
Great. I just want to say a couple of things, and I'll take your comments off the air. The Clemson-Auburn game, I'm a Benedict graduate, so I don't have a dog in this Clemson-Carolina thing, but I think Clemson is just too talented. They're just too talented, and they'll win the game. And for Deshaun Watson, it's a 9 o'clock game, which means the Heisman voters on the West Coast will have a chance to see him. And this may be the only chance they get to see him play. So if he plays well, it'll plant the seed in their minds when it comes Heisman Trophy voting time. And it may help him just win the Heisman Trophy. I know it's the first game of the college season, but if he plays well, like we think he should, it'll just place it in their minds that, they'll remember it. Whether he plays good or bad, they will remember it. So I'll take your comments off the air.
Well, the one thing you have to understand, though, out on the West Coast, they will get a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey of Stanford. And let's face it, a lot of Heisman voters are provincial when they do their voting. But if you can siphon off, if he dominates the South and the East, all he has to do is siphon off a few votes in Big 10 country, Big 12 country, and Pac-12 country, he'll win the Heisman.
Yeah, and if Clemson has the kind of season that they hope to have and expect to have, that always helps because the Heisman or worse is usually the best player on the best team in college football, or in college football is how that works out more often than not. So Watson's got a great shot at it. There's no question about it. And he was a finalist last year. If he has the same kind of season that he had last year, Corn, I don't think there's any reason to believe that he won't be back in New York again and maybe hoisting that trophy.
I would agree with you. How could you not have him up there if the team has the same level of success, too? That kind of goes hand in hand. And he'll be back there with some familiar faces. I would imagine that McCaffrey is going to have a real good opportunity to be there. Fournette's going to have a real good opportunity to be there as well. You might even see Chad Kelly. He got a lot of votes last year, not enough to get to New York, but you could see him there as well if he has the kind of year that he could have there at Ole Miss. How cool would that be? And they should be proud if that were to be the case. That Dabo Swinney could say, "Hey, two guys that I signed ended up on the same stage at the Heisman Trophy at the same time." That'd be pretty cool. All right, for your phone call, and let's get to the recruiting update for tonight. First of all, visiting USC tomorrow morning to watch practice will be defensive end MJ Webb, a top USC target out of Madison, Georgia. USC is one of 4 schools he is still considering. The others are Tennessee, Auburn, and Kentucky. He hears from all of them on a regular basis, and he said that Tennessee and Kentucky are matching USC in their recruiting effort. Those 3 in particular the hardest. He has an official visit planned for USC for the Georgia weekend. He has not set any other officials at this point, but he will do so with his other favorites. He does not expect to go in and commit tomorrow not like Hamza Nasir Dean did when he visited USC earlier this week. I mean, stranger things have happened, but he said don't expect it on this particular visit. Clemson is keeping in touch with defensive back Xavier McKinney of Roswell, Georgia. And he said Clemson is one of the schools that contacts him the most. The others he mentioned were Alabama, Ole Miss, and Miami. And he said that he's being recruited by defensive coordinator Brent Venables and co-offensive coordinator Tony Elliott at Clemson, and speaks with the Clemson coaches almost every day. He has not heard from USC recently. Excuse me. USC was one of his offers, but he said he hasn't heard from the Gamecocks in a while. He's not yet official visits. He has to wait until after the Under Armour All-American game in January to announce his decision. Today, defensive back Gentry Bonds of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, committed to Georgia Tech. Clemson was in his final five. Basketball. 6'9" Ejike Obina of Ashburn, Virginia, is set for his official visit to Clemson for this weekend. In fact, he's coming in tonight. His host there, the person with whom he lives in Ashburn, Virginia, Obina is set to be at Clemson tonight, and so that means he arrives tonight. So he has a leave Saturday night. That would be his 48-hour period. He also is going to visit Florida, Vandy, and Oklahoma, and is looking at Texas A&M and Virginia Tech as well for possible visits. USC is in the hunt for 7'1", 250-pound center Jason Cudd from Sockasty High School. East Carolina is also putting up a lot of effort with him. Those two are showing the strongest interest right now, according to first-year Sockasty head coach Derek Hilton. Frank Martin and Jeff Lebo have taken a strong liking. DePaul is also starting to show a lot of interest and is coming on pretty hard with him right now. The Gamecocks saw Cudd this summer in Vegas and in Spartanburg at AAU events there. His parents want him to go slow, check out all his options. Things are not definite regarding an early signing. They'd like him to take official visits. USC and East Carolina, according to Hilton, definitely stand out with Cudd right now, with the Gamecocks probably holding a slight edge. Point guard Jay Morant. Did we win something? No, we did not win first place. We won first place?
Oh, my.
Cheating never knows a day off, does it, my friends?
Never going to hear the end of this.
Cheating never knows a day off. Thank you,
I'm just
guys.
gonna go home.
Thank you.
You're
interrupting.
Cut out early.
We're interrupting recruiting. We're interrupting recruiting here for the award ceremony of the Citadel Brigadier Golf Tournament. Let me finish my recruiting, guys. Hang on a second. Point guard Jay Morant of Crestwood talked with USC coaches and Murray State coaches on Wednesday. He's not yet discussed officials with schools and has not yet decided which ones he will visit, though he expects USC to get one. And 2018 shooting guard John Newman of Greensboro visited Clemson last week. Okay, there you go with recruiting. So it's a big night here on Sports Talk. Did we actually win? Number one, Dr. Bill Phillips is telling me kickoff classic for. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Well, I didn't do much, just hit a drive here and there, hit a putt here and there, help line up a putt here and there. Thank you. All right, we got to hit a break here at the top of the hour. It's embarrassing to be receiving awards while we're on the air, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Top of the hour break. By the way, this goes down as another major for me in my golf career. So I've won the Scottish Open, the Western Open, and now I've won a Citadel tournament too. So the number of majors I have won over the years continues to grow. All right, top of the hour break, and we'll be back.
Live from Columbia, this is Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now, here are your hosts for Sports Talk, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
Hey, we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Good to have you with us here. We continue from Patriots Points with the Citadel Brigadier Club. I was a little bit overwhelmed there by my teammates presenting me with what we won today. Did not realize we were actually going to come away with the victory. Hey, I forgot that I also was a winner in the final Steve Spurrier tournament. So I've got the pretty much a grand slam going for me right there. So anyway, Will Vandervoort from the Clemson Insider updating Xavier Kelly. According to Brent Venables, going to be out about a week is okay, but it was a pretty serious accident. Lucky to be alive, according to Venables. Got a couple of bumps and bruises and scrapes. Had to get stitches to his toe. Was not wearing a helmet.
He is lucky to be alive then.
That always terrifies me in South Carolina.
What, not wearing a helmet or just seeing the mopeds?
No helmet. As my mom used to say, no helmet, vegetable.
Yeah. You're taking a big chance. There's no doubt about that. We'll hear from Christian Wilkins coming up at the very least, unless we get something in from today's media session, which could be kind of tough considering we're getting late into the program. And we're also in just a little bit from a Gamecock standpoint. We've got Mike Peterson, linebackers coach, coming up from his session with the media. Again, no more interviews with the Gamecocks this week. No practice today. They'll be back at practice tomorrow. They'll scrimmage on Saturday night. And then the next media opportunity will be the conference call with Will Muschamp on Sunday afternoon. We'll have that covered for you here on our website, SportsTalkSC.com. By the way, our poll question of the week at SportsTalkSC.com. If you haven't voted, man, a ton of people have jumped in on the question. Will Deshaun Watson surpass 5,000 total yards again this season? Nearly 600 votes are in. 82% say that he will not. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he has a bad season and Clemson doesn't win a bunch of ball games. It could mean that other guys are having big years and you're taking some of the offensive pressure off of Deshaun Watson. I could see that happening.
I could see that happening as well. But my point is, I think early on, with that defense, and I know everybody say, well, they reloaded last year, but it was a different sort of reloading because you had a more experienced backups. K-Mac, I think it might be a necessity for him to pile up a few yards because he's going to have to carry that team at least the first month of the season till that defense gets short up.
And last year was kind of the opposite. The defense was carrying the offense while they settled in. I think Watson was getting his sea legs, for lack of a better term, back underneath him after the surgery the previous year and filling out some of those new weapons there. They were breaking in some new guys on the offensive line. It all worked out. They started meshing as the season went. They got better. But they better come out firing. And that's another thing about openers that always makes you nervous. You can tend to get sloppy. You can get those procedure penalties, not lining up right, guys that blow an assignment that can kill a drive, and your offense can scuffle a little bit. And sometimes it's whoever has a better defense that can win those games. I mean, we all remember South Carolina's opener last year, what an ugly game that was for North Carolina, and how good after that game. You scratch your head and wonder, how did North Carolina lose to a South Carolina team that only won 2 more games the rest of the year? And that North Carolina team played for an ACC championship and had Clemson down to an onside kick. So, I mean, you can be a better team and lose that game. And that was on a neutral field. This is at a home field for Auburn. And I would be very nervous if I was Clemson. I know Corn, he even sounds like he's getting nervous. The guy that said Clemson wouldn't ever lose a game, not against Auburn or anybody, for the rest of time. He's even starting to sound a little nervous about this one.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, I needed you to kind of talk me off the ledge there a little bit after, talking to a football guy. And he gave me some very sound reasoning why Auburn not only, in his opinion, should win the game, will win the game. He was very confident that Auburn's going to win the football game based on their talent, the fact that they'll have a quarterback running a fast-paced offense who's very fast. Clemson now all of a sudden, and you can – they're expressing some concerns about a particular position, the depth at defensive end. He'll be okay by game time, but he's going to miss some practice time. And when you're a true freshman still learning, and he has also, according to reports up there, he got off to a great start in camp, and he seemed to hit that wall a little bit too, and taking a little bit of a step back. So a rise a little bit on defense, but they – this person telling me that Auburn's defense is very good. I can look at it and tell that. They've got some really highly recruited, highly touted players on the defensive front. I mean, Carl Lawson, when healthy, is as good as any defensive end in the country. Davis on the inside was heavily recruited by – both of those guys were heavily recruited by Clemson and a lot of other schools. So they've got some good players back there. They're a little bit suspect maybe in the secondary. I think their linebacking core is pretty good. But I still go with Clemson as of today. I don't think I'll change my mind on that. I still think the Tigers go in there and get a W. Now, as we mentioned, South Carolina off today, but K-Mac, you were out at practice this week, saw him a couple of times, and you had a chance to talk with, along with others, new linebackers coach Mike Peterson. Now, this is a guy that if you're a player, you have to respect, you should listen to and learn from. This guy played 14 years in the NFL, great college career at Florida. So he knows his stuff. And if there's one thing about this South Carolina coaching staff, guys, as you look at it, especially on defense, a weak link on that defense. Lance Thompson started as a defensive line coach. Mike Peterson, with his college and NFL experience, should be outstanding. Travaris Robinson has a great reputation on the back end at secondary, and Coleman Hutzler as well. A very solid group up on the defensive front. And K-Mac, you had a chance to talk with Peterson and kind of get his thoughts on how things are looking with his guys.
Yeah, and the thing about Peterson, he's new to the coaching scene, so he's kind of learning on the fly. But with his NFL experience and his personality seems to mesh well. There's all these different personalities. We know Muschamp's wired up pretty tight. T-Rob, he'll get into you. Coach P, as they call him, he's a little more laid back with his approach, a little more of a player's coach and maybe the good cop role, but the players certainly respect him, and he really is settling in nicely on that staff.
Lucky situation, to be up under, a guy who's respected around, college football and also in the NFL ranks of being in the top ranks of X's and O's coaches, so to learn from, Coach Muschamp and work with T-Rob and Robinson on a daily basis and Lance Thompson on a daily basis, you play the game so long, but it's still always things you can learn from coaches on that aspect of it. So it's been great, and I've been enjoying every minute of it.
Does your NFL background command attention from kids this age? And do you ever use it to sort of get their attention, or is it ever a factor?
I think it's a natural thing. A lot of these kids here, they grew up, watching me play on Sunday. So I think it's a natural thing for them to maybe listen to me a different way. And my thing is I got to use that and funnel that in the right way. And show them the way, show them how it's done, show them the things you do, how to take care of your body, how to watch tape, things to do away from the game, So I think I get the ear a little different than a lot of guys, but it comes with the territory.
Okay, that's USC linebackers coach Mike Peterson here on Sports Talk. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sports Talk South Carolina Radio Network. You know, my mama told me never to lie. So, in full disclosure, I have to give complete credit to my teammates for our victory today. Now, I rolled in a putt or two, had a couple of nice drives. One of the greatest people you will ever meet. Recently retired dentist here in Charleston, but still working in his practice. Vietnam hero, Vietnam vet, and a great, great man. I love playing with that man. Dolph Rodenberg and Billy Kirk round out our team, and we were a team. Essence of the word. There's no I in team, and we proved that today because when one of us, had a bad shot, the next guy would step up and hit a good one. So I'm proud of my group today. And thank you for all the congratulatory remarks we're getting on Twitter and through the email. K-Mac, you seeing all that on our timeline, all the congratulations?
Yeah, thousands. Thousands. Really, I think Twitter is actually just shut down. They're having problems there. They can't even take the flood of congratulatory tweets.
But the best
coming
comment
in.
I saw is the chain is just
broke the internet. The internet is
link.
broken. Yeah, I just tried to log on. All the internet is now broken.
That's too bad. Hey, we should mention, too, that high school football officially is underway in South Carolina.
Wow.
There's some games on this Thursday night, including the I can't believe they're playing this game to open the season. It's the bloodbath, the annual rivalry between Latta and Lakeview over in Lakeview, I think it is tonight. So let's hope everybody, of course, Latta being a statewide institution with a fan following that knows no borders. Let's hope that the Vikings get off to a great start this season, shall we? And, of course, our high school scoreboards on the South Carolina Radio Network will commence tomorrow night. We'll have our 5-minute shows like we did last year at 10, 10:30, and 11 o'clock. And it's a statewide scoreboard show. I know a lot of stations, and they do a great job, and they focus on area scores and local scores. We'll have the statewide scores for you, and David Shelton will be along, and our affiliates include Camden and Johnston, Myrtle Beach, Newberry, Walterboro, Columbia, Loris, Florence, Kingstree, Lamar, Sumter, Orangeburg, Cheraw, Greenville, Barnwell, and Allendale. So we have a great collection of affiliates. We'll post this on the website with the call letters and the frequency so you can check it out. We'll also post the reports on our website as well so you can hear them too right there on the website should you not be able to hear them over the airwaves. Now, this week at Clemson, guys, a big story, the injury to Austin Bryant. What's going to happen there? Good possibility Christian Wilkins is going to slide over from his defensive tackle spot and spend a lot of time at defensive end. Is he athletic enough, 320 pounds, to play that defensive end position in a quality sort of way? Only time will tell. He talked with the media the other day, guys, about playing defensive end and looking forward to doing whatever is necessary.
I had to get a little reps out there today. Just got some work, just trying to create a little more depth out there and just get comfortable with me out that wide and just, getting just more reps in everything and just getting used to playing outside.
What can you do as one of the leaders to kind of keep everybody's head in the game, considering the injury to Austin?
That's just I'll just continue to preach what we preach. It's the next man up mentality. We love Austin. It's unfortunate that he had to have an injury. That's one of my best friends on the team, so I would hate to see him go down. I really want to see him step into a starter role, and he'll help when he comes back. I'm sure he'll be better than ever. But it's just unfortunate right now that he has to be injured and won't be able to start the season with us.
Did you get to talk to him after it happened, and what was his mentality?
I did. He was in good spirits. He knows that he'll be back. He's going to work hard to try to get back and get healthy and everything, and he's going to do his best now that he's injured to get the other DNs ready, in the room ready too, and make sure he steps up more as a leader and just doesn't let this tear him down.
Possibly to start, you don't know for the Auburn game out there. Does that change things for you and how you approach that position?
Not really. I'm just going to attack it hard, try to do as best I can to get used to gain knowledge of playing outside. It's a little different playing inside. You have a lot more different responsibilities, and got to find different ways to beat guys and everything. So really, I'm just going to get in the film room, study as hard as I can, and really take everything I can to make sure I can do an efficient job out there. And also, along with that, still prepare myself to play inside.
What's the major difference? Obviously, I know inside it's more the technique and pushing and getting pushed on the quarterback. What's different when you're playing on the outside?
Well, I mean, you're playing in more space for one, and for two, there's a lot more things that can happen. You got down blocks from a tackle. You have sniffers and fullbacks coming at you. You have to watch the quarterback. There's just a lot of different things on. You may have to drop in coverage, stuff like that. So
who else have you seen out of there, though, that defensive end spot that if it's not you, who could it be?
I mean, all the guys are working hard. They're all stepping up and just playing. They're all hungry, and they're competing as hard as they can every day to try to get better and just be in a position to help and contribute.
Right, so your overall approach to taking the field doesn't change.
Not at all.
Regards to play.
If I say it's Cleveland Farrell and Richard Jurgen starting at Auburn, what do you do to make Clemson fans feel good about that combo?
I mean, well, just have faith in the next man up mentality and just them having guys like they did last year around them. That made them a lot better. They're working hard. They're working as hard as they can, and just because now that I'm getting reps at and the other defensive ends in the room are just sitting back, okay, like Christian's got it. They're still working hard. They're like, no, like we want those reps. We want to play Christian. You stay inside type of thing. So they're all still working hard and grinding as hard as they can.
Is playing end maybe a better opportunity to increase your sack total or get just as many inside?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to work hard with my pass rush ability. Outside, inside, doesn't matter. Just going to try to get better because that's a big point of emphasis for us. We got to create, get in the quarterback's face, create a lot of pressure, get a lot of sacks this year. So I'm going to try to attack you hard as well as I can, rushing from either a 3 and nose or an end.
Do you still feel that explosion, that you have to tackle it in now that you're a little bit lighter than you were at the end of last year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely feel like I still have some of the explosion. And in some ways, playing inside will help me playing outside. Trying to move someone like Tyrone or Taylor Hearn, he's moving 330 pounds, compared to moving 300 pounds on the outside but they're definitely a little more athletic. But so that's just something, another challenge that I'll be facing playing outside.
All right, Christian Wilkins of Clemson. A lot is on his table as the Tigers look at him to play defensive end. They have that flexibility to do that because they're pretty deep at the defensive tackle, and so they can afford to move him out there and see if that works. If not, then you're talking about maybe Chris Register or Jabril Robinson playing at that defensive end position. The other side, Cleveland Farrell and Richard Jurgen. If Wilkins stays outside, then you're looking at Carlos Watkins, of course, a mainstay inside. Scott Pagano, who logged a lot of snaps last year. And then some unheralded guys, heralded guys, highly recruited guys, but not guys with a lot of snaps. Sterling Johnson, Dexter Lawrence, Albert Huggins, and Niles Pinckney. And the question is, guys, can Clemson's defense survive during this short period of time while Austin Bryant is out? And, of course, they really only have the one tough opponent in Auburn. Then they come home to South Carolina State and Troy. So really just the Auburn game is what they've got to deal with.
Well, the key point I think probably is habits also. You get a guy like Christian Wilkins used to playing inside, that the coaching staff of Auburn, Gus Malzahn, is going to see if he can get him to peek inside. And most of the time, defensive ends, if they see that those shoulders turn at a 45-degree angle or perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, they're going to run right outside. So it'd be interesting to see how his discipline is of playing outside as opposed to inside.
I saw a quote on Twitter from Brent Venables post-practice. And we'll have that interview posted on the website later since we're not going to get on the show tonight. But paraphrasing, he essentially said, I keep hearing about how other teams might try to take our defensive end position as a weakness and try to expose that. He said, I hope that happens. They're going to be surprised. So he's not panicking right now.
Yeah, that sounds like Venables. Yeah, at you. Okay, when we come back, Citadel AD Jim Center is going to join us. Look forward to chatting with him for a couple of minutes. We've got a football preview, too, coming up of North Carolina. Stay with us here on Sports Talk. We'll be right Right back.
You're live.
All right, Jim Center, athletic director at the Citadel, coming up in just a moment. Couple of notes to pass along to you. At Tennessee, Butch Jones announced today that offensive lineman Chance Hall had arthroscopic knee surgery. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. At the University of Florida, it's official. Luke Del Rio officially named as the starting quarterback at Florida today. At Georgia, Nick Chubb took his first tackle since being injured October 10th of last year. He says that it felt all right. So that's good news there for Georgia fans. At Duke announced that sophomore defensive tackle Brandon Boyce, junior safety Philip Carter will be suspended for the first 3 games of 2016. So there you go with a few notes. Oh, one other note to pass along. That's of a couple of notes from USC that we haven't mentioned. Rico McWilliams, senior cornerback, has taken an excused leave of absence from the team to handle a personal matter. This reported by the state last night and confirmed by Will Muschamp, who declined to discuss specifics. So, depending on how long he's out, that's a scary proposition for a section of the USC football team that's already scary because of performance and the lack of experience. So, have not heard anything more today on that, whether or not he's come back. So, got to keep an eye on that. Offensive lineman Zach Bailey, starter at left guard, did not practice for a couple of days this week, dealing with a concussion. The Big Spur confirming that he suffered a concussion on Monday, and so they're being very careful with him regarding that. And we should also mention that last night, Clemson's Brianna Rollins won an Olympic gold medal in the women's 100 hurdles at Rio, 12.48. As the U.S. Swept the medals in that event. She becomes the first Clemson female to win a gold medal in the individual event in the Olympics in any sport. As far as we know, did not get in a fight with anybody at a gas station and concoct a story about being held up at gunpoint. So that's another positive for her. As Jim Center, the AD here at the Citadel, joins us, and we got a big storm brewing outside, don't we?
Yeah, yes, we do. I'm glad I was able to come in and get on the broadcast and the show with you. The dark clouds are ominous, as they say.
Yeah, they're rolling in over the harbor and all around us here. So it was a great day for golf, and what an event this has become. 18 years, and they've topped $1 million in raising money.
Yes, sir. It is really amazing what can be done when a bunch of selfless people get together and have a cause that brings them together. Rod Mosley, who's the tournament chairman, been doing this for many, many years, is one of the most selfless individuals you'll ever be around. And he just has a smile on his face, and he does a great job for us. But, this tournament raises about $120,000 a year for us, Phil, and we couldn't be more proud of the work and the effort that they do. And obviously we need the money.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? You need the money. Everybody needs money. I mean, every program in the country, hard to believe with all the money out there that television is distributing that some schools, a lot of schools are still crying poor mouth. Where's that money going?
Well, that's a great question. It's very, very interesting when people ask me all the time, what's it like to be a college athletic director? And what I tell them is it's a little bit like being a business owner and trying to be entrepreneurial in a state system that is generally very, very confined. And the one thing that we have in common, when I tell people, say, we're just like Clemson, we're just like Ohio State and Alabama. They look at me kind of weird. I say, listen, the one thing we all have in common is we all need more money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And as exhibited by, Clemson this year, considering selling tickets to their students.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But you know what? That did not go over very well. Yeah.
But the point is, they're saying we need the money.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, so they build a $55 million football facility. They need the money.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to compete at the highest level like they are now, and you're competing against the Alabamas of the world, you need money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the Citadel at our FCS level and Clemson at the very highest level, ranked in the top 2, I think top 3 in America, they all need the same thing, which is more resources, right?
Absolutely. And they never stop asking.
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely right.
Did you expect 2 years after hiring Mike Houston that you'd have to hire a new coach? Did that come and go too quickly for you?
I can honestly tell you, I did not expect for Mike to be recruited away that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kudos to Mike, and I'm happy for him and Amanda. And he did an amazing, phenomenal job at the Citadel in 2 years. He really did. And my hat's off to him. I really thought that maybe he would stay around for 3 or 4 years, but I don't blame him. I mean, he saw that as a better opportunity for himself and his family. And see, Phil, that's the biggest challenge when you're working with as much as you do your own school and your own job.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't deny somebody, I don't care who it is, the opportunity to better themselves if they believe it's the best thing for them. It doesn't matter what I believe.
Sure.
It's what he believes what's best for him, right? And he saw that opportunity as a good opportunity for him. I'm just so thrilled that we had the opportunity, and there were two quality individuals on our staff that we felt like we could have hired either one of them and never missed a beat. And in turn, we hired the offensive coordinator, and Brent Thompson, I believe, is going to do a phenomenal job here at the Citadel.
Tell me why. And I was, playing with some Citadel guys today, and they asked me, or one of them did, why is James Madison a better job than the Citadel?
Yeah, well, so that's a great question, and a lot of our alums say the very same thing. And I don't know exactly because Mike Houston didn't share with me what his salary was, but I think it was about probably $100,000 increase in salary, somewhere in that neighborhood. It will be as they get done paying his buyout, because they had to pay us a buyout that he owed us, and then there are over 20,000 people in their stadium week in and week out. And so we're anywhere from 8 to 14,000.
Yeah.
And so those numbers start to add up in their infrastructure and their facilities. I mean, I don't think it's been any secret that they've looked at and are flirting with the FBS overtures, whether that's the Sun Belt or Conference USA or whoever it might be. And so I think Mike saw that as an opportunity maybe to take a leap, maybe get away from the triple option. You run this offense very long, and pretty soon you get pegged as a triple option guy.
Well, I thought he was.
Yeah, and he actually isn't. He's a defensive guy.
I mean, I didn't think he knew the first thing about the forward pass.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I think you saw that maybe that opportunity as a way to say, okay, I've won here, I've been successful, and I could go on now and I can put in more of a pro-style offense, so I'm more attractive as I look at bigger and better things down the road in my future. He's a phenomenal coach.
Oh, yeah. He's won everywhere he's been.
Yep.
And so why Brent Thompson, and what future do you see for him as the Citadel head coach?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking that. At the end of the day, when you look at the Citadel and its success, it's always happened when we run the triple. Brent Thompson knows the triple option inside and out, does a wonderful job with it. And in fact, when we were interviewing Brent, he said, hey, listen, there's never going to be a job that is more tailor fit for me. He said, I'm a triple option guy. That's what I do. It's what I want to do. It's what I'll do in the future. He said, that's who I am. It's what I believe in. And, when you have that kind of passion for something, you're going to be successful. I don't care what industry you're in. And so it made a lot of sense. He had been successful running the triple option everywhere he's been. And so we felt like, hey, this is probably the best fit for us at this point in time. And, had the respect of the players and the kids. The bottom line is we were able to keep almost everybody except for two coaches on the football staff. And so the continuity in terms of recruiting and in the staff, offensive and defensive philosophy, all those things factor in. The other thing is we only had 2 weeks left in recruiting.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, I was having to balance whether or not it makes sense for us to go out and do a national search when I felt like we had two quality. And he's going to be head coach someday, and he could have been head coach here. It's just that at some point you're going to make a decision. We pick somebody. But anyway, it was good. We're excited to have him.
I got to ask you real quick before you let you go. When do you play South Carolina again?
You know what? We don't have another game scheduled, but I'm hoping I can get with Charlie Waddell and get that thing scheduled again. I'm working on it.
I think they want you.
I hope so.
I think people remember the little tweet that came out earlier this month. Did you see the tweet?
No,
it came out. Well, the SEC announced the USC, the takeover. They do this thing called on ESPN Takeover, where each school gets 24 hours of their games replayed. And somebody from the Citadel tweeted, "You think they're going to replay our game with South Carolina?"
Oh, is that right? I hadn't seen that. Oh, Lord.
Hey, great seeing you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Appreciate it,
We
Phil.
certainly appreciate it. Jim Center, AD here at the Citadel, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we're back. Sports Talk, South Carolina Radio Network. Let's continue with our previews of SEC and ACC teams. It's North Carolina. Here's Carson Mason.
UNC football team seems to be headed in the right direction under head coach Larry Fedora. The squad was 11-3 overall and undefeated in the ACC regular season last year. Just one win away from an ACC championship, Fedora still feels the sting of the Tar Heels' heartbreaking finish.
The 15 team did some really great things last year. We didn't finish it the way we wanted to, but was really proud of the way that team played. That team left a lot on the table. They know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. We could have been much better. And but that's what's exciting about 16 is these guys got a taste of what that was all about. They know that we left a lot out there and we can be better, and so it should be a lot of fun.
The Heels lost the ACC championship 37-45 to Clemson, as well as the Florida Citrus Bowl to Baylor. The Tar Heels returned 15 starters, and Fedora is excited about the mix of experience and youth on both offense and defense.
We're a year older in the defensive line. You know, we don't have any seniors in the defensive line. You know, our linebackers are going to be young, but they're talented. Secondary, we've got 3 of the 4 back. You know, so we're probably going to be young as backups, but I'm okay with that because they've got some talent. Offensively, we've got 4 of the starting 5 back on the offensive line, and that's big. And once we get that 5th one in place, we should be okay.
One of the more experienced returners is junior dual threat QB Mitch Trubisky, who will finally get his time to shine as the starting QB after he watched Marquise Williams for 3 seasons. Trubisky appeared in 9 games last season where he completed 40 of 47 passes for 555 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also rushed 16 times for 101 yards, and he did not throw a single interception all season. Not to mention he'll have several weapons to get his offense down the field.
The running backs with Elijah Hood and TJ Logan, either one of them can carry the load for us. And then we got some receivers that we're going to put out there with Matt Collins and Switzer and Bug Howard that can go. And then, I'm as comfortable as I could possibly be changing quarterbacks. I think our entire team is comfortable. They know what Mitch has done in the past, and they're excited about the future.
Junior running back Elijah Hood ran for almost 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns last season. He ranked 8th in the nation for yards per carry with almost 7 on average. Hood will be joined on offense by wide receivers Ryan Switzer, Quinshaw Davis, and Matt Collins, who combined for 140 receptions for over 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns. When it comes to the schedule, Fedora said he's excited to prove the Heels can hang with the best of the best in the ACC.
Clemson and Florida State deserve what they've gotten. I mean, they've done it. We haven't done it yet, so we're not there yet. I understand that, but I think we're closing the gap. I really do, and I think I'm excited about getting the opportunity. We're going to play Florida State for sure, and maybe we play the other one in December here.
The Tar Heels play Florida State in Tallahassee on October 1st. Another game worth noting is the matchup with arch-rival Duke at Wallace Wade on Thursday, November 10th. Then the team will wrap up its season against another in-state rival when it takes on NC State at home on November 25th. For Sports Talk, I'm Carson Mason.
All right, Carcinova, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Got some information in on the Clemson scrimmage now. Tigers had that scrimmage today. They ran 77 plays, numerous special teams plays, and some simulated end-of-game plays. Dabo Sweeney, who did not talk with the media but gave some statements to the Clemson Sports Information people, said it was a good scrimmage, accomplished what they needed to do, does not believe anyone got hurt, worked on the return game offensively and defensively. A good scrimmage for Greg Hugel, who repeatedly hit his kickoffs into the end zone for the second straight stadium scrimmage and did not miss a kick. Sweeney said they worked a lot on special end-of-game situations, such as taking a knee, for example. That was me. I added that in there. He didn't say that. The Tigers also worked 2-minute drills and simulated overtime complete with the coin toss. Tigers will hold practices tomorrow and Saturday, and that will be season prep practices in general, and then start full-time on Auburn on Monday. Sweeney held some of the starters out or played them sparingly. Some of the standout performances: tight end Mylan Richard had 4 catches for 48 yards. Ray McLeod, 4 catches for 34 and a touchdown. Running back C.J. Fuller, 6 rushes, 31 yards. Adam Choi scored the only other touchdown on an 11-yard run. Deshaun Watson played. Nick Schuessler was 12 of 22 for 117 yards and a touchdown to lead the quarterbacks. Deion Kane had 2 catches for 62 yards, including a 39-yarder. Mike Williams was held out. Wayne Gallman had just 1 carry. Defensively, Christian Wilkins had 3 tackles for loss and 2 passes broken up, playing defensive end and defensive tackle. Ben Boulware had 5 tackles, including a caused fumble. Denzel Johnson had an interception in the 2-minute drill. Cleveland Farrell and Chris Register had 2 sacks each. And then after practice, Sweeney said Xavier Kelly, involved in that traffic accident on Wednesday, missed the scrimmage, expected to return next week. DJ Greenlee missed the scrimmage, concussion. Marcus Edmonds sat out with a hamstring. Carlos Watkins was held out with a wrist injury. So that is it from Clemson. By the way, Sweeney today picked up another award. He was next of the Amos Alonzo Stagg Coaching Award from the United States Sports Academy. He received that award this National Coaching Award this year. This award is presented annually to a coach who has experienced outstanding achievement and has exhibited a high standard of propriety, imagination, and innovation as a character builder in the tradition of great teacher coaches. And, of course, Amos Alonzo Stagg was one of the winningest college football coaches in history with 314 victories. All right, let's see. What else do I want to mention to you? The Citadel today released its basketball schedule for the coming season, and they've got some toughies. They got to go to Stetson, Iowa State, Arizona State. They'll play at the College of Charleston. Some of the games they'll play outside of their Southern Conference slate. They'll also play Presbyterian. They'll play USC Upstate. Oh, they'll play at Virginia Tech as well. So that's a look at some of the non-league teams for the Citadel for this coming basketball season. All right, don't forget that tomorrow is Friday, the first Friday night of the high school football season. It's called Week 0. We'll get you ready for that. David Shelton will join us, and he'll help to preview some of the top games around the states. And tomorrow night at 10, 10:30, and 11, we'll have our high school football scoreboard shows for you, 5 minutes in duration, giving you scores from all across the state. So make sure you make plans to be with us for that. I can pass along, let's see, at least one score I'm seeing here. Heathwood Hall in Columbia has a 20-0 lead in the second quarter on Oakbrook Prep. So, guys, we're off and running with the high school season.
It's
pretty
here.
Exciting.
Week 0. Still don't know why they don't call it Week 1 and just go up an extra week. But, hey, Week 0.
Now, Lattimore is coaching with Heathwood Hall.
Yeah, the Lattimore effect.
That's right. Everything he touches, it turns to gold. All right. Any final thoughts from back in the studio, guys?
We didn't even get to talk about Dansby Swanson, the Dansby Swanson era starting in Atlanta. Maybe that's going to be the difference to get the Braves back on the top of the NL East.
Not really.
Eventually.
He was they lost 11-3 last night, but he went 2 for 4.
He was 2 for 4.
Yeah, he was 2 for 4. And Freddie Freeman somehow has found lightning in his bat all of a sudden.
Are we talking about the Braves?
Yeah, they're still playing. They have uniforms and everything.
Who are the Braves?
Okay.
I mean, Dansby Swanson.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. He had a nice debut. That's one. They get about 8 more of him, they'll be okay. All right, guys, have a great night. Thank you, Jar March, and thank you, Carson. Great jobs, and we'll see you tomorrow night here on Sports Talk.
Hey, are you going to try to do the recruiting voicer now? Will you do me a favor and at some point, maybe tonight, because I'm going to be recording my afternoon cast earlier tomorrow because I have to get out of here. Will you